Hello and welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, as we are going to be discussing the renewal of Sergi Roberto. Yes, Barça have made the decision to renew Roberto. There is lots to unpack, lots to get into about this particular renewal. Why have Barça done it? Why have the Barça board and indeed Xavi made the decision to do this? And exactly what role can we see Roberto playing in Xavi's squad next season? We are going to be going through it all right here. So let's do it. Because many people over the past few weeks have often been saying to me, when are you going to talk about the Roberto rumours? When are you going to discuss Roberto staying at the club? And the truth is, guys, I've been waiting all of this time, not wanting to address it, because I was hoping that it wouldn't end up happening. But here we are today. And Sergi Roberto has officially renewed his contract at Barça for one more season until 2023. So, okay, it's only one more year, but I think many of us feel that is one more year than it should have been. His release clause there has been set at 400 million euros, and I'm pretty sure that nobody's going to be rushing to pay that release clause. But if you are interested, anyone out there, if you would like Roberto for 400 million, please do not hesitate to get in touch and we would be delighted to sit down and talk with you. But all jokes aside, on his existing deal, Roberto was actually among, incredibly, one of our highest earners at the club. He earned over 200,000 euros a week. That's no joke, by the way. Bartomeu gave that contract out to him. Over 200k a week for many years for Sergi Roberto. It's just beyond belief in my mind, that kind of deal for Roberto. But anyway, he was one of our highest earners, and it does have to be said that in renewing his contract here, he has significantly reduced those wages to stay at the club. And it is being said there that it's a big reduction. I'm talking there over 50%. He is more than half those wages in order to stay. And it's even been rumoured in the media that Barça actually made Roberto such a low offer, they automatically believed that he'd reject it. Barça thought for sure that he wouldn't be staying at the club until actually he said, yeah, okay then, I'll take that. Which part of me actually does believe that happened, because honestly, for many, many months at the club, we had heard Roberto's gone. He's not going to be staying. Barça will not offer him a renewal, and then all of a sudden, he was staying. So something there dramatically changed, and maybe he did accept such a low offer in the end to remain at the club. And look, as we always do in these situations, regardless of what you think of the player, I do appreciate the fact here that he's willing to play for a lot less than what he was earning. But I still think many of us would say, well, although that's great, and, respect to Sergi Roberto for that, we could have, as a club, saved even more money by not renewing him at all. We didn't have to renew him here, especially this summer, when we're struggling here to move players on. To offload players from our wage bill, we had the perfect chance here, the perfect opportunity to let one go. Completely gone, but we still renewed him here, albeit on that much lower salary. And I think the question for all of us right now, and on all of our minds is, why? Just why? Why have we done this as a club, from the board, from Xavi? Why have they decided to make this decision to renew Sergi Roberto? And I've tried to look at this here from a rational, balanced point of view. One thing that you'd say about Roberto is that he's a very versatile player. He's somebody who can help out, he can fill in many different positions, right back, in midfield, even at left back at times he's played, further forward in the field. He is somebody who can play in a number of different roles. I don't think he's mastered any of them, but he can provide cover, and that is often quite a useful player to have in your squad. But that would be one of my key points here. When you're talking about what Roberto should be in the coming season, he should only be a squad player. Full stop. That is non-negotiable for me. There is no way that we should be renewing Roberto here to play him in the starting lineup week in, week out, because that would be a joke. That's not how you go about winning things. Roberto being kept on is only satisfactory if he's going to be that squad player, that utility player that in all honesty, he is. And I think, to be honest, I hope and believe that would be the case, that Xavi would use him as cover. And I think part of me believes, especially given some of the rumours right now surrounding Dani Alves, that maybe Sergi Roberto next season is just going to take over the kind of role that was played by Alves in this one. There is a chance there that Dani Alves won't continue at the club. Even if he was to, it would only be until the end of the year. And it is possible here that Roberto is going to be used in that area. And I would actually go one further on that too, because it's interesting when you look at Xavi's setup, because we've often seen the right back being used under Xavi in a slightly different way than we have over the past few seasons. Quite often under Xavi, the right back there is being asked to come inside, to actually join up with the midfield, be involved in build-up, to actually create a more numerical advantage in that central position. And I do think that is the sort of role, and it requires the sort of attributes that would suit Roberto a bit more than roles we've seen him in the past. And of course, the other thing that I would say, in fairness, when it comes to Xavi, is that maybe he believes that he could get a bit more out of Roberto, that he could make the most of the attributes that he has and make him a better player. Because to be fair, Xavi has come in and improved, I would say, the majority of the Barcelona squad. There's a lot of players there who were not playing so well, not feeling good, not feeling confident, and once Xavi arrived, they did improve their game. So Xavi may feel as though that he can actually get the best out of Roberto and bring him up to a decent sort of level. However, with all of that said and done, and with everything taken into account, trying to approach this rationally like the grown-ups that we are, I would say I fully understand everyone who's unhappy right now. I understand the frustration here that is certainly flying around because of this renewal. I completely understand that, because if it was me personally making this decision, would I have renewed Roberto? Absolutely not. There is no way that I would have made this decision, but it's done now. The decision has been made. It's final, unfortunately. As with many things at this club, there's not a lot that we can do about that. But what do I hope happens next season? I hope Roberto goes out there and proves us all wrong. Of course I do. You know, I hope that he goes out there and thinks, okay, I'm going to silence those critics. I'm going to show people why I should be here. I'm going to work tirelessly to show that. And honestly, that's what he should do. And only time will tell if he's able to do that. But I think right now, on the face of it, it is absolutely fair to label this a bad decision by the club. Only time will tell if that will change. And I don't think that we should hide from that at this stage. Although what I would just say is, we can be critical. We can say that wasn't a good decision. This is not a good decision. We should have done that better. But what I would just hesitate from doing right now, guys, is going too far. Just because this is a bad decision, it doesn't make everything the club is doing right now to be bad. It doesn't make the whole summer bad. We have to approach every situation in its own way, because for me, although this is a disappointing renewal, no two ways about it, we still can't forget the positive ones. The renewals of Pedri, of Araujo, of Ansu Fati. The fact that in the next few days, Xavi is expected to be added to that list. So yes, I think we've got this one wrong. I think this is a decision that shouldn't have been made, but we are still trying to get here on the right path. We're trying to maneuver all of these financial difficulties that we're in, and the summer is still young. We can be upset, we can be frustrated, but we still have to try and stay on track here. Stay positive, and hope that this summer we are still capable of doing good things. So those right there, guys, were my full thoughts on Sergi Roberto's contract renewal, and now it is time for yours. I want to know what you think here of this renewal, of this decision, and what you're expecting from Sergi Roberto in this Barcelona team next season. How much should we see him? What position and role should we see him in? Let me know all of that in the comments down below. I will, of course, see you soon with all of the latest news. Thank you today for joining me and indeed for your support. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça.